guys. How's it going?
Cody, how are you?
I'm good. Good. Can you tell everybody your first and last names and the name of the academy and where you guys are, and we'll just talk about kind of everything you guys offer there.
Cool. I'm Alex Couch. Own Sleeper Martial Arts in Pampa, Texas. I'm a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, black belt in Kempo, and I'll let my wife introduce herself.
I have Yani Couch, and I'm also a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. I got it this year. And then I just got my third degree in Hawaiian Kempo as well. Okay. We
Awesome.
co-own.
Co-own Sleeper Martial
Yeah.
Arts. We offer
Cool.
a little bit of everything, but because we are karate black belts too, so we do stand up, we do ground, do judo, do everything.
It's definitely mixed martial arts.
Yeah, we
But
do.
we do focus a lot on Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's an interesting, thing to explore. Like, I mean, yesterday somebody said that, they offer judo and a type of karate, and they were just talking about, just rounding out one's martial art. And I said that, anytime somebody says rounding out your martial art, maybe you should probably lean that way. But that's my, just my opinion. And I don't even practice martial arts. But you said Tampa, Texas, right? Tampa?
Pampa.
Say it one more time. Huh?
Pampa. Pampa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what everybody
I
thinks
wanted
of.
to clarify,
Yeah.
not just for me,
Yeah.
but for everyone else. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm in Florida, so I'm thinking Tampa. So I'm like,
Yep.
okay, I just know there's another.
Everybody does.
What's the age groups that you guys have there?
We start them off at 4 years old. So we have 3 different classes. We have 4 to 7, and then we have 8 to 13, and then we have 14 and up. These are 3
Okay.
age groups that we offer.
And then the 14 and up is like, with the adults, right? That's the
Yeah.
adults class?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are the, and I'm going to start asking like some beginner questions, and they're actual questions I have, but a lot of people would have this question. I think I know the answers to it, but do you combine the classes of karate, judo, and jiu-jitsu, or are they separate classes?
Well, we're
Is that a
definitely
good question?
we have 2 separate classes. We focus. We have I'll teach like kickboxing, Muay Thai 2 days a week, and then 4 days a week we're doing jujitsu.
Yeah.
And I mix in the judo. We start on our feet. I'm not a guard puller, never was. So
Okay.
because I came from more of a karate background anyway, that's what I first started in. So I never put myself on my back purposely, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe, so yeah, we do. I mix my judo and wrestling in to every class I do.
Yeah, I'm sure if you come from that background, you're way more likely to implement it into your martial arts game, implement it into jujitsu, if you will, instead of going from just jujitsu and trying to understand why these, are additions and that kind of thing. Cool. What's the oldest age that you've ever had? You don't have to say a name. Just kind of like 78 was our record that I've asked.
Oh, really?
Some people wonder, some people wonder if they're too old. So I just kind of always say this in the podcast, so it's people who are listening, you're not too old.
We've had a guy. Oh, well, that doesn't count. My instructor's 58. So, but we've had a guy. I think he was 60 or 61. He was a military vet, and he came to my lunch classes. And the lunch classes are a little more laid back because I get an older group of guys. My night classes are more younger kids, so we ramp it up a little bit. But yeah, I think about 60. I think he was 60 or 61.
Got it. Can you tell me? Some people don't know, and I don't know exactly. What the type of karate that you mentioned? What was the type of karate? And could you tell us what that karate is?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Yeah.
So we come from a Kempo background, which is from Bill Ryosaki, which he had Ryo Dojo. And he comes from a Kaje Kempo background. He was also black belt in jiu-jitsu and judo, and karate. So ours goes way back to James Maitosi. and it was very street implemented, like not a lot of flashy things, just punch them and kick them and where it hurts. And
Okay, yeah.
so the other side of our family, actually, like John Hackham and Chuck Waddell, they're in the same family tree as we are. So it's an
Okay.
MMA background. When I did my karate black belt test, it had judo, jujitsu, striking, Muay Thai. It had it all. So it wasn't just like what everybody sees, like karate, but ours has
Got it.
everything, and it always has. It's always been a mixed martial art from the get go. So
What's you guys like methodology of teaching, kind of like overall philosophy, if you will? How do you go about it?
well, yeah, you want to go with the kids? Because we kind of switched it up a little, and she's doing it. She's an amazing teacher, so I'll let her do that.
Age group like 4 to 7, we do a lot of games. So they're having fun, but they're also learning. We break it down to like our warm up is a game, uh, and then we go into technique. We give them goals. So we'll break it down. Like say we're showing passing open guard. We'll start with they have to get to this point, and then we count to 1, 2, 3, and then once they achieve that goal, we'll level up, and then they get pin the knee or pass to mount or whatnot. But we do it in goals, so each person has their
Yeah.
goal. It's kind of like that eco.
It's a lot, yeah, like constraint led training,
Yeah.
CLA.
But
Yeah.
we have seen such a big improvement with kids retaining the information versus the traditional way of teaching where you show them step by step. And they're,
Yeah.
giggling, having fun,
There's
pushing each other. Yeah, yeah. They're fun classes.
everything ball in how we teach kids. They're by the end of class, they're like, "We're done already."
Yes, yeah. They're always like, "Wait, class is over?"
Yeah.
Um, And then
Got it.
with the
Yeah.
older kids, we do the same, but we have a little bit more time with them, so we can actually show them a little bit more advanced stuff. Um, and then when we're in competition season, we take it even further. We push them a little harder, but they're still goal oriented. So
Same way with adults.
yeah,
Some days we have a technique. We call it Technique Tuesday, which my teacher teaches that, and he slows it down a little and he shows them a little slower, pressure oriented jujitsu, and
Uh-huh.
he still does CLA, but it's a little slower. So
Okay.
it's
Got
good.
it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. I was going to say, I completely understand how the kids are like, oh, it's done, instead of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
teaching them this. You'll see
Yeah.
them looking around a little bit, not a lot, but yeah, they'll little bit. This when you're teaching them step by step, looking around.
Yeah.
So it kind of like teaching them the way you do kind of lets them be creative
Yeah. So,
to a degree, right? So
so,
they're using their minds more. Things are clicking
yeah.
faster for them.
It's
Yeah.
problem solving, which is
Yeah.
what you need, because I feel like everybody, you can be taught the same thing, but you're going to do it your own way. You're going to adapt to how your body will do that move. And so if we're teaching the same way and they're not problem solving, they won't, word I'm looking for, they won't grasp it as good. Now, if you're just giving them a goal, it doesn't, sometimes it's not as like the steps to get there is if you can get there and achieve your goal. It might be a little bit different than student A from student B, but if they get to the same goal, we're still progressing, if
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I always tell my students, make what we teach you yours. Make it your jujitsu, because and at the end of the day, it's everybody's individual journey through it, and you're
Yeah.
not gonna do it like I do it, and I understand that. So we've seen a massive, like, they've progressed. We've been doing this about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how much everybody's progressed, like
Yeah,
much
that's just like,
faster.
doing like a science lab class instead of, regular
Yeah.
science class and
That here's how
saying,
it's done. Do it.
Yeah.
They're exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never asked this, I don't think, as far as, teaching that way, but when they achieve their goal in their own way, are you kind of like then saying, or do you ever kind of say, maybe this was a better way or do it this way or kind of like tweaking it a little bit or correcting it a little bit, that kind of thing? Or is there zero of that? That's my
No,
question.
no, yes.
No, they once they'll achieve their goal, they're more apt to ask questions now.
Yeah.
Like used to it
Oh,
just
got
be
it.
like, they do something like, would this really work? Did this just work? They're kind of surprised themselves. They're like, oh, I
Yeah.
actually did it. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, if it got you your goal, if you got you your end goal, absolutely. Like keep trying it. And if it keeps working, it obviously is working.
Yeah.
And you can always switch up their partner with maybe a higher level player and then see is that technique still working or what do we need to tweak on it. So yeah,
Okay.
it's very we can move pieces around more.
I think too it's because they're both working towards the goal. So like say the bottom player does something that wasn't um the normal, and so it brings up more questions. Okay, they trapped me with this, so
Yeah.
how can I, you know, eliminate that to get to my goal? I with the kids do um help them if they're struggling with achieving their goal. Like, okay, so we need to move, our body a little bit more this way, or pin this and stuff. But it's mostly from them not being to get to their goal that they ask the question.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we can help
Like
them
only if you have
eventually.
to.
Yeah.
And some of it's like what I observe. So I am like a scientist. I observe nature and
Yeah.
okay, well, this isn't working for this person. Why is it not working? And then my next round of when I explain the next goal, that's my talking point for the next game. I'm like,
Got it.
so here's what's happening and why you're getting stopped. So here's how we meet it, kind of thing. So yeah,
That
it's a
makes
lot of
sense.
observation
Yeah.
too.
Cool. When is competition season? Is it
Um,
several times during the year or is it one time of the year?
So yeah, we
Or
tend to
depends.
take off the summer. Some of our kids, like we have some uh like Skylar Hamilton, Adrian Ramirez, they just were in Tulsa doing a Apex grappling in the cage.
yeah.
So they compete year round. And then for like our hobbyists, it's from August to May.
Yeah.
So and plus we're everywhere we go, we have to drive a really long ways. That we're 60
Okay.
miles east of Amarillo, Texas.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they just recently, within the past few years, started getting some tournaments to Amarillo. So before that, we were having to drive 3 hours to Lubbock, 3 hours to Oklahoma City, 5 to Dallas.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard, especially
That's
and
trip.
get everybody the funds to be able to make it too was really
Get
hard.
the Greyhound.
Yeah, exactly. They're all pile in a car. Yeah,
The bus. Yeah, the
yeah,
van.
Oh,
Um,
man.
yeah. We need a van.
hey, so my next question was like, are jujitsu tournaments happening all year round, kind of like everywhere sporadically around the country? And then what the season would be, that more so means what the academy chooses to do. And that's dependent on what's happening around them, what's feasible as far as time and
Yeah.
location. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
We try to make it to where, especially families that have a lot of people training, can afford to go if their kids want to compete. Now, we do stress to them that we don't want them to ever force their kids to go compete. This has to come from the students themselves, because they will be more inclined to train and do better when it's something that they don't feel forced to do. If that makes
Right.
sense.
Yes.
But yes, so we try to keep it close enough where people can go.
Yeah.
But
But we do have some that go really far away. I think Skylar is going to that UFC jiu-jitsu. They just started in Arizona in September. So he
Oh,
travels long distances. For the most part, though, when our competition team will stay Amarillo, Lubbock, sometimes Oklahoma City. So it's just
Got
more
it. Got it.
affordable for everybody.
Yeah.
Can you guys go back as far back as you want and kind of just tell me like how you guys got into jujitsu? And I mean, of course, you can add in your karate experience as well if you want, and just kind of tell
Yeah.
me like why did you like it at the beginning, and then why did you continue training?
Well, I started in corrections. So I worked for Texas Department of Corrections at 18. So I wanted to learn a little bit how to take people down at least and how to stay on my feet. So I'd sporadically train with our ERT team, our emergency response. I'd go to trainings through the state, stuff like that. I really never had a home gym until I met my instructor, Troy Schreiger, here in Pampa. Before that, I was just bouncing around trying to learn what I could. Uh, so I was at the gym one day and I was asking people if they had like kickboxing or something at the gym. It was a youth center, like,
Okay.
so, and a guy overheard me and he said, "Hey, I know this guy, Troy. He teaches Hawaiian Kempo karate." And I said, "Well, what is that?" He said,
Yeah.
"It's like a mix of everything. It's like MMA." I said,
Okay.
"Okay." So I got his number. I showed up. I think my first class I took was March of 2011, and I never stopped going. And here I am, you know, 15 years later, and he passed the school to me, and now my wife's in it. It just
Got it.
kind of took me on a different path than I thought I was on. It's pretty
Really?
crazy,
What did
yeah.
you like about it? What did you enjoy about it?
Oh heck, man, I was what 24, so I just like the physicality of it and
Mm,
just being able to get punched in the face and choked, and it was, it's like get all that testosterone out. I guess
yeah.
it was,
Yeah. Especially at that age. Yeah.
yeah, especially in your early 20s. I didn't, and then it took me further and further away from like trying to go out and party and stuff, or and it changed my mentality of how I just live my life and even approach people. And it just, I was hooked from the get go. So I'll tell a story real quick. I think my second class, I was rolling with one of his Kempo brown belts, which is, I think, 2 belts away from a black belt, is what he was. So he'd been training for 2 or 3 years, so probably a blue belt in jujitsu, but we weren't doing jujitsu belts yet. So he put me in a
Yeah.
crucifix and started tapping me with his elbow against my ear. And I said, "Okay, I've got to learn this." So that was the part where I got to learn some ground stuff because I just got waxed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because
Like,
my
what the
first
heck?
class was all stand up boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. But when I went back and he did that to me, I was like, okay, I got to learn all of it.
You
I
felt
got to learn
silly,
this.
right?
Yeah, I felt real silly. I thought I was in good shape too. I was
Mm,
pretty good shape at 24, about
mhm.
185 pounds, just, lean. And yeah, I could run forever, but somebody puts you in a crucifix and taps you with their elbow. It's kind of, you're
Yeah.
lost at that point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, what was it doing? Like, how was it? Were you applying like anything you learned to like your life other than, not partying as much?
Pretty much just
Maybe subconsciously?
it was the realization that I'm not as bad as I think I am. I had that young
Yeah.
man mentality, like walking out with your chest out everywhere you go, and just
Yeah.
realizing that I'm I'm probably not the most dangerous person out here, so maybe I should chill. Take it easy. Well, and I
Probably
think,
like, yeah, like your stress, like your ongoing like stress goes
yeah,
down as a guy, right? A
oh
little bit.
yeah, yeah. It knocks you down a level. You're like,
It
okay,
just calms you
maybe I
down
need
a
to.
time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. It still does. It's good for your mental health as well. Like to stay on the narrow path. Just
Mm.
be
Did
chill
you
and be.
compete?
uh,
Yeah.
Did you compete?
I've competed a few times. Yeah. Um,
What was that like?
The first time, I think, so we went to a karate tournament and they were like, we can, we're going to do jujitsu. Like, and so we showed up and I think I was on my last brown belt in Kempo before I tested for my black. So I went to a tournament and no one wanted to go with me because they saw the
Why?
brown belt. They saw the brown
Oh,
belt around my waist. They thought it was a jujitsu brown belt, I guess. And
oh,
everybody else was
okay.
like, no, no, we're not. No. So they called this young kid. I can't even remember his name. He was like 22 or something. He did MMA and we just did a grappling match. And I think it lasted all of like 32 seconds. I Kimura him, put him in a Kimura and he tapped and he's like, thanks, bud. I was like, thanks. Thank you. Cause that's the only match
It-
I had that whole day. So that was
yeah,
my first like grappling tournament. Yeah.
like, and he still didn't know that you weren't a brown belt in jujitsu, right?
No.
He never knew. Maybe he thought that, he
And
still
by
thought
then
that
I
when you
didn't,
went.
yeah, I had took off my gi and my belt. So we were just no gi basically. We were just
Yeah,
wrestled down to the ground and
You might find out now.
yeah, he might find out now. Maybe he's watching. I appreciate you showing
yeah.
up for that. That was
Mm.
awesome.
We'll
But
try to tag him in
yeah,
it.
I did do,
What,
yeah.
how did you start teaching? Like, how did you start teaching martial arts at all? Like, was that when
Oh,
you first
funny
opened
story.
or?
I love telling this story. Um,
Okay.
so Troy, I think I was a gold belt in Kempo. So that means I've been training for about 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
And he texted me, said, hey, can you go open the gym up? I'm going to be a little late. Just get the kids warmed up for me. I said, and I was like, what? Um, I
What's that
guess.
mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like what?
So, yeah, so I show up, I open, and all the parents are like, where's Troy? And I'm like,
You
I don't know. I've
with
never
that
been to a
face?
kids class. Yeah, I was like, I've never been to a kids class. I don't know who y'all are. You don't know who I am. I can understand that now. But
Yeah.
he never showed up. So I ended up teaching, taught all the kids, taught the adults, and then he was like, sorry, I got busy. I said, okay. So
Did
I
you do it
think
with a straight face? You didn't say like, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. You just did it
I just tried to do what he taught me as
exactly
good as
like
I
you knew what you were
could.
doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I've pretty much been teaching since I started with him. So yeah, close
Mm.
15 years now. So
Do you like teaching? I mean, is there a certain element of teaching that you enjoy?
I like open mat so I can go ham on the boys. But no, I I enjoy seeing everybody's progression. That
Yeah.
that makes that makes me the happiest as a coach. Like seeing them finally get over a hump. Like maybe they couldn't escape side control and they finally do. And they get this big smile on their face, like, I did it.
Yeah.
And it makes me proud when they're proud of themselves. So
Sure, sure.
that's what fills my heart.
Yeah, seeing the
How
progression.
did you get into it, Yanni?
Um, so this guy, he just kept pushing at me. It wasn't my thing at all. Um,
Like y'all are
I
already married or?
Yes, yes, we got married
Okay.
in 2010, but we've been together since 2007, so about a year before we moved out here. And he fell in love with it so much immediately, and he was like, "Just come on, let's go to a class. You should do a class." And I think I held off for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. Sounds right. Sounds right.
yeah. And I mean, like I said, I've never been confrontational. So like I would get
Mhm.
anxiety thinking again, oh, somebody's gonna try to hurt me. And I finally did the first class, and I think what made it super easy that everybody was so welcoming. You build these relationships, they turn into family. And so I think that's why I kept coming back. And then I started slowly falling in love with it. Just like you said, you would struggle with something and then it would click and you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. And so on
Yeah,
top of
yeah.
that, when I started teaching, just building the relationships with the students and being part of their journey and helping them through the struggles that I went through. I think that is why I love doing it so much. Not even necessarily about winning um, every match or every role. It's like helping somebody fall in love with it too. And then all the family that you make through these connections. Um, I love my girls. You know, we don't have very many girls train our gym, but they have grown over the last years.
Doesn't hurt.
Um,
Sure,
but
sure, yeah.
at one point, you know, it's like you're training just with a bunch of guys because that's who really wants to do martial arts. You know, girls
Yeah.
sometimes don't. And so just being part of that and finding this friendship is really and the kids. I always wanted to be a teacher when I was in school younger.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
I didn't go into that field, but it kind of fell into my lap by being a teacher at our dojo.
Yeah.
And I mean,
In a much less stressful way. Yeah.
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 I mean, I only get them for like an hour or 35 minutes each class. So if they're really bad, I'm like, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I promise. I was a teacher before. I was a middle school teacher and a high school teacher years ago. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. I mean, you're getting out what you want out of it, yeah.
I
They're
do.
they're
I love
full
all my
attention
students.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think people like going there? Is there a certain aspect of the academy that you think they really enjoy?
I hope.
I actually asked this question on our Facebook, like before you
Okay.
messaged me, right? And
Okay.
I think
Before we ever connected?
before we ever connected, it was like it
Oh,
was
okay.
meant to be, man. And so, but every other comment was like the community, the what we call it Ohana, right? Ohana means family, Lilo and
Yeah.
Stitch. But
Yeah.
that's
I
always
hear
been
Stitch's voice.
our word for our dojo anyway. With our Kempo association, it's our Ohana. We become family over time, you know. I could call any one of any one of my students at any time of the day if I needed something, and they could do the same with me. And
Mm,
that's what we really have built is like our Ohana, our own family at our dojo. So, and that was
got it.
every day
Yeah.
a comment. Then we had some goofy ones, like one of my students. I'll call him out because he's a dirty wrist locker. Josh Seaborn. He said wrist locking people, of course. So anyway, everybody else was about the
Okay.
community.
Okay. That's
But
his answer. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
That's okay.
It's funny
um.
when he was brand new, he tried to wrist lock me. You know, I was I think a purple belt,
yeah,
and yeah, he tried to or no, I might have been a brown belt.
probably yeah.
But yeah, I'm letting him work, and here he goes. I was like, really? You just did that? I'm gonna let you
I'd
work some
probably
more.
scream. It surprised me. Yeah, if you're not like used to it. Um, can each of you separately answer this question? Maybe Yanni, you can talk about like kind of the kids side, specifically. If a parent asked you, what can jujitsu overall do for my kid? You want to just mention one thing or a few things, whatever. Can you just go over some things that you would tell them? And then Alex, you can go over kind of like more like the adult side, if you would. That way we have
Yeah,
two different sides.
I think above all, the confidence. I think confidence it is a good way to build their confidence. I've had a lot of kids come in that um were very shy, or we've had kids that didn't do well in like uh situations where there's a lot of people. Yeah. And seeing them flourish after a little bit of time and seeing how maybe I remember one kid. I had a kid, he didn't talk to me for like a whole year. Like he
Yeah,
would come to class, he would do whatever I would ask him, but
yeah,
he did not say one word. And I remember just seeing him grow in that confidence. And I remember the day that they came in and his mom was like, "You want to tell her?" And he looked at me and he said, "I want to do more classes." And so I was like, "Oh, awesome. I love to hear that." But just seeing them, especially the ones that stick with it, just seeing the confidence grow. It does bring discipline and it does, show me a skill, but having them know that they are able to do that and believe in themselves is the biggest thing for me.
It proves their self-worth.
Yeah, yeah. That, if
Yeah.
I just had to pick one, though, confidence is the one.
Self-confidence.
hmm
Okay.
Make a breaker.
Yeah.
What about for adults? I'm sure confidence is one. Is there another?
Yeah, some of them are already confident when they get there, but after the first
So breaking them down.
yeah after the first roll, they're like, I'm not so confident. Yeah,
So
confident.
exact opposite.
Yeah, but I think for adults, we work jobs 9 to 5s. We got, our life gets pretty stale at points.
Yeah.
Not ours, of course, but when we used to work, I also worked at a junior high last year, so I know how you feel. And I just think that they get to go to the gym and just forget about everything for a little bit. I think for adults, it's more about a mental health. It's about a break. It gives them a break from all their bills and everything. Just kind of lets them just be free for a little bit and be a kid again. So I've had people tell me that before they started jujitsu, they couldn't. It was hard to get in the floor and play with their grandkids, and just move around and the mobility. So it's yeah, mental health and mobility is probably the biggest things I see with adults and what it helps in their lives. So
I bet the social aspect, right?
yeah,
I mean, it's even if they justify going because it's a workout, they're doing it for their, the physical aspect. The social aspect is automatically there for them.
absolutely. And I let them be themselves. I'm a big goofball. I'm not, I can be serious, but 98% of the time I'm not very serious. So I think too, they feel relaxed once they get to know me and they know like, okay, he's just, I can be goofy too. And we can have fun here and learn and just chill and be happy, be a family here and just forget about our car payments for a little bit and stuff like that, Yeah, that community, man.
To let's end it on this. What would you guys like to say to the community there at the academy? Is there anything you would like to say to them?
To our academy?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love every one of you. Even Josh. And I hope he gets to come. He had an Achilles injury and he's been out for a few months and I know it's bumming him out, but brother, the dojo is always going to be here and we love you and all the kids. Thank y'all for being kids and thank my wife for being an awesome instructor that I don't have to worry about kids classes no more. And I just get to be a goofball in adult class. Sensei, our sensei Skylar, he's dual black belt as well. He just got his black belt with Yani. And
Amazing
kid. He just started this last year helping with kids classes, and I think he loves it. So it's going to improve your jujitsu better than you ever know. Just teaching it. And then my instructor, Sensei Troy, because if I wouldn't have opened my mouth at the Pampa Youth Center about kickboxing, I would have never met the guy. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have our own business and our, more freedom in our lives. You know what I mean? So it's a blessing that our lives intersected and he believed in me to take over the gym. So thanks, Troy. Thank you.
He was a big part of us being able to have this life and be able to dedicate our full time into the gym and grow it. We have done a lot of work growing it.
Yeah.
But just having that culture and feeling or having people feel welcome, I think is the biggest thing. I don't ever want anybody to come in and feel like, oh no, they didn't even say hello to me or, I just felt awkward. So I want them to feel comfortable enough to ask questions and to feel right at home when they come in. in our dojo.
We just try to love everybody
Yeah.
because the world's mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
to my kids, and even kids that have come and gone, I would like I still care about them. I'm so very grateful for the time that I get to have them at the dojo. I love all my kids. um, and I hope they love me. They seem to, but you know, um, that's that's I love our community. I love our kids, and I love being able to teach them stuff. So, uh,
keep coming.
yes, yes,
How
you guys
long
are
did it
doing
take to
amazing.
how long did it take to get over an Achilles injury?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
he did not do that in jujitsu.
he didn't do it in jujitsu. He's
Got
really
it.
old. No, he's 50, but he was watching a football game. He told me the exact game, but he stood up and he felt something pop in his Achilles, and he's like,
Like
"Whoa,
like
this
in
ain't right."
surprise or something?
Yeah,
Like
so
cheering, something like that?
yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
standing
crazy.
up's pretty weak, but yeah. I mean, I tell him, I said, dude, you could tell everybody you were competing at Worlds and you got healed up. I don't know. But yeah, he stood up and it just popped and he had almost a complete tear. So,
Okay.
and I think they told him 6 to 8 months, but he's already out of a boot doing PT and it's been about 3 or 4.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
he's on a good path.
May.
Okay.
Surgery?
Yeah, he only had surgery in May and he's
Yeah.
progressing well though.
Yeah.
So
Got it. So that's just a couple months or whatever, a few months. Cool.
yeah, he's healing quick. So it's good.
You guys are on social media, right? I know you're on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, Facebook, Sleeper Martial Arts, and then Instagram, Sleeper BJJ. Who else? Alex Couch. That's my Instagram, I think.
Got it.
and Yani.
Yanni couch. Yeah.
We're pretty simple with our
Yeah.
Instagram handle.
I know it's not just Yanni on Instagram. You didn't get that lucky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had originally started trying to do like a gear thing for our girls.
Yeah. She does design all of our stuff.
That one.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mean Girl Jutsu, is what I was calling it, but I have not checked it in like 6 months.
She is mean. She
So
says
I might
it's
come
like,
across it.
yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem so mean. Oh my gosh. Uh,
Yeah, no
all right.
kidding.
Well, I love talking to you guys. Thank you so much for your time today. I had a fun time. And thank you for what you're doing there at the academy. And thanks for your story. I know it's going to do some good. And I hope you guys have an awesome day today. All right.
Awesome. You
Thanks so
too,
much for
Cody.
having
Thank you.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
1000%, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
How you doing today, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It is extremely hot outside right now. I'm in Pensacola, Florida. Where are you at?
I'm in Great Bend, Kansas. We're about 109
Got
right
it.
now.
Got it.
Yeah.
109.
Yeah.
Is it very humid there?
Extremely. Not today, but typically it's pretty humid.
Okay. I've never been to Kansas before. So, okay. um, well, can you tell everybody your first and last name, the name of the place, and just talk about what you guys offer there at the academy?
Okay. Yeah, my name is Nick Taylor. The academy is November Tango Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the November Tango is just the NT in my name.
Yeah, I was going to ask,
Everybody wants
what's
to know if
November Tango? Yeah.
there's some deep meaning, but it's not. It's just my initials. So
Oh,
yeah, we got
mind blown, right? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, everybody's like expecting something big and grand. It's like, no, it's just my initials. So yeah, we're
What
in
kind of
Great Bend,
classes do you guys
Kansas.
offer?
Right now we have gi and no gi, BJJ, and then we have a kids class as well. That's for the most part just gi, BJJ.
Got it, got it. And what's
Yeah.
the youngest and maybe hit on what's the oldest you've ever had? You don't have to say names. I'm just kind of curious.
So we have actually a 5-year-old we've had in our kids class for a little while. That would be the youngest we've had, and then oldest, I think 49. was the oldest we've
Okay.
had so far. So we've got a
Yeah.
little bit of
I've
a
just been
range.
asking that question with every podcast. That way somebody, thinking they're too old, Um,
Oh, no, no.
yeah. Can you tell me kind of like your philosophy of teaching jujitsu? Just kind of like your overall like methodology maybe, or, how you go about it?
I just like to, I'll get into it later as we talk about kind of how the academy was formed and everything, but I just like to
Sure.
teach the way that I like to learn. I
Mhm.
enjoy thorough deep dives. So I'll pick a position and we'll go over that for a month. Like this in July, we've been doing guard. So just guard passing, submissions, and sweeps. That's all we do for the month. So I really like to um, pick a topic, pick a position, and just hang out there for a while so people can get an in depth knowledge of it and not really just jumping around from class to class.
Do you think like even like just because the classes might not be long enough and not everybody goes to every class, that's a part of the reason why you would do that, you know? It's just, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that because we do have some people that, can only make one or two classes a week, but a majority of our people actually are there a lot. So that allows, I can kind of chain things together. I can build on each class during the week, and most people don't really miss out on much. And
Got it.
we're kind of a small enough gym that people who do miss a class or whatever, um, I have time after classes and stuff to go back and work on, if they're interested what they missed. I go back and work
Mhm.
on that. So yeah, it's pretty in depth. I like to do in positions and stuff like that.
Mhm, mhm. I mean, did you when you were training at the beginning, were you kind of sometimes at other academies maybe feeling like you wish you would be able to focus on a certain move or position more? Is that kind of where that started?
Yeah, because when I started, actually, there was the closest place to me was about a little over an hour away. So when I was started
Wow,
actually going to schools, I was maybe training once every other week. So it was something
got
that
it.
I felt like I was constantly, I would jump in the middle of something that I didn't know where they started. Um, and
Right,
yeah, and a
right.
lot of that has led up to now that I can teach and do things the way that I want to, we're we go in deep on stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
guess
just a
that's a
way to
perfect example of that question I had earlier. Kind of like if somebody doesn't go like, 3, 4 times a week, if they're going once or twice, yeah, maybe they're just not,
right.
even if something's hit on like twice a week, they're not getting that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like with we'll say like with guard passing, um I'll do different guard passes each night of the week. We have classes 3 nights a week and then an open mat on Saturday. Um, but I'll do different guard passes each night of the week, but they all are kind of interconnected. So I like to have systems, ways that if one thing doesn't work, we can jump to the next thing and then the next thing, and that's kind of how we
Mhm.
set them up as well. So even though we're learning a new guard pass in one class, they're typically tied back to previous classes. So it's just kind of a way to review things and learn new stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Professional teacher. I taught like middle school and high school before. And yeah, there's like certain like methodologies of teaching, of course. And yeah, that's kind of one of them, kind of intertwining things, that kind of thing. Would you go back as far back as you want? Just kind of tell us like how you got into jujitsu and, why did you enjoy it at first and why did you continue to train and kind of go from
Yeah,
there all the way to
absolutely.
the owning the academy. Yeah.
So it started out actually probably 15 or 16 years ago. One of my friends, he was like, "Dude, I just got this book. It's amazing. It was an Eddie Bravo book, Jiu-Jitsu Unleashed, and it's kind of his framework for 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu." And he's like, "Would you want to start working on this stuff with me?" And I was like, Absolutely.
He
So
wasn't
his
training at the
son-in-law,
time.
no, because like I said, we were about an hour away. There was 3 schools, and they're all an hour in different directions. Um, and at that time, it was, YouTube wasn't even super big. A lot of places weren't on the internet. So it took us a little while before we found a place even to train. But he got this book, and he
Right.
had his son-in-law was working for a furniture store, and they had a bunch of old carpet padding and carpet. And so we just threw all that down in his basement and just started going page by page through this book from Eddie Bravo. Um, and that's how we got started.
Really?
And
Wow.
honestly, that's still the foundation. I remember one of the first things in the book, Eddie Bravo was like, you have to understand lockdown half guard to be able to get into rubber guard and all the things. And to this day, half guard lockdown is like my safe place. It was just one of the first things I learned. That was the only thing we were really drilling to get good at through this book because that's what Eddie Bravo said you had to do. And yeah, that's still my go-to when I need a
Was
rest or
it
if I'm feeling attacked.
so you guys are just learning straight up from the book? It
Yep.
wasn't video at all?
No. Like I said, YouTube still
Wow.
wasn't that big. There wasn't much on YouTube. It was all the book.
So he didn't have like tapes out, or maybe he did, you just were not, or
Yeah,
maybe not
if he
necessarily Eddie
if he
Bravo.
did, we didn't know about it. So
That's so cool.
yeah, we're kind of
And
just
so
this
how long
little
did that
town in
last?
the middle of Kansas. That lasted probably 6 months to a year, and then we found a place that we started going to. So I live in Great Bend, Kansas. The place we went to was in Hutchinson, which it was about an hour away, and that's the place we were going once every other week. And we did that for a while, and then gas kind of got expensive. Life started, being life, and it got to where if we were training once a month there, it was accomplishing something, but we were continuing to work at least a couple times a week just down in his basement. So on top of the book, we would just drill and drill and drill whatever we learned in class the night we went. So yeah, that's how we got started with it.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. And it's kind of amazing that, you both together continue to do it. Well, usually one guy would fall off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
So,
so
I
and
mean, kind of
oh,
what
good.
what what wa- what intrigued you about jujitsu? What was it about jujitsu that you enjoyed?
Um,
It
I've
intrigued you
always
enough to
loved
set all that stuff up, yeah?
I've always loved martial arts. I've done Taekwondo since I was like 10 years old. Um, I guess you could say what got me started on martial arts was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like back when
Yeah.
they first came out. So as soon as I saw them, I wanted to be a ninja. And at the time, there was a Taekwondo school here in town that my dad put me in. And so I had done that clear up until roughly around the time that we started doing jujitsu. And I think what got me loving it so much is just everybody says it's like human chess, but it really is. There's a finite amount of things you can do, but it's just finding different ways to set them up and just trying to
Okay.
outthink the other person. And I think that's really what got me into loving it is just the endless possibilities and combinations, and it's real time feedback. If something works, something doesn't work.
Yeah.
You can't really hide behind anything. It's just, to me, jujitsu is where um, it's just real. It's like, when everything else is kind of, you never know what to believe, especially now. It's like jujitsu is real.
Right.
It's real time. You mess up, and then you have the choice to either fix it or keep messing up pretty much. So I
Right. It
just really
always
love
has
those
that, like,
aspects.
yeah, it has that
Yeah.
element of like you're really doing it all the time in practice. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it was the same thing for your friend? You know, that he liked it because it was like a game of chess kind of thing. It was a continuous learning thing.
Yeah, definitely. We were both kind of on the same page as far as that one.
Yeah, yeah. So you probably like encouraged each other, you know, um, um, without knowing it, just you kind of trying to understand everything and continuing to learn. Yeah, you're just put both on the
Yeah.
same wavelength with it, and yeah, it just kept going up and up.
Plus that
Why?
physical. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, like, how did you get into like teaching it? How did that come about?
So, the guy I started with, probably 2 or 3 years after we started doing it, he was actually in a motorcycle accident, hit a deer, didn't make it to the hospital. Um, and I don't know, that kind of set me back a little bit, but I'd always, I had a grappling dummy. I kept on working on some things. And then there's a place here in town called the Central Kansas Dream Center. And at the time, they had kind of like inpatient programs for people with life controlling addictions. And they were finding that as people got there and started getting sober, they started putting off weight because there wasn't really much to do. Um, and I knew the director of the place, and she had heard that I was into martial arts. And she was like, "Hey, this is the situation. We have these people, they're putting on weight. We need to find something to do. Would you be interested in teaching them martial arts?" And I was like, absolutely,
What a
100%.
cool way to get into that. Yeah.
So that was kind of where I had to make the choice between teaching what I knew, the being lifelong in Taekwondo, or really branching out and getting into jujitsu. And keep in mind, at this time, I'm still a white belt, still very little professor time as far as training and everything. So I just we started once a week. They gave me a room at the Dream Center. Her husband actually worked for a place here in town that makes like gymnastics mats. So he got a bunch of like excess scrap padding, put it down on the floor, and then he had a bunch of excess vinyl that they had left over. So he vinyl welded it all together to cover the floor, and that kind of gave me my mat space for it. And I just got back to doing what I was doing. I'd go to class, learn some stuff, bring it back, work on that stuff with the people until I went to the next class. So that's where we got started. And we did that probably 4 years. Wasn't even open
Hmm.
to the public, just started, just working with the people in the programs. And eventually they gave me the option to open it up to the public. So we did that and just been going
The
with it
first
ever
thing that
since.
comes to mind is kind of like, you know, they're going in there to keep their weight down or lose weight. But, you know, I wonder what in the world, how much of an impact it was having on their personal lives, right?
Yeah.
Jujitsu, their mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. We had one of them even enjoyed enough, take it far enough that he competed a couple times while he was in the program. So
Wow.
yeah, it was cool to see that come around. Um,
Was that
but
like
yeah,
an added element to like, you know, your satisfaction as a teacher, you know, helping them out
absolutely.
specifically?
Yeah. And like back then, I'm a white belt. I hadn't really been in a whole lot of classes, to really understand class structure. And I was just kind of learning on the fly. I'm just this white belt out here in the middle of nowhere trying to teach
Yeah.
what I understand of jujitsu. And um, yeah, so we did that. Once we got opened up to the public, I found a guy here in town. He was actually an attorney. He was a brown belt under a guy in Manhattan, Kansas, which is a couple hours away as well. Um, but I got hooked up with him, and he kind of started coming in and helping, and like he pretty much took over teaching. So he did that for a while, and then I got promoted to blue belt through him and his instructor. And he ended up having to move away. So then I was just kind of out here on my own again. And I remembered one of the guys that I was training with in Dodge City, Kansas. He was a purple belt at the time. He was helping run a school there. Um, so I reached out to him, and he had gotten his black belt by then, and started talking to him. Had some conversations, and he's like, I would love to help you guys. So we've been underneath him ever since. Keith Welsh out of Dodge City House of Grappling. He's my current professor. I travel there at least monthly. I try to make it, and then he comes here as well to help out on
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays. So yeah, that's kind of how
Yeah.
we got to where we are. So I got my purple belt and my brown belt under him, and I've been a brown belt for about 2 years now. One of them I was out due to ACL reconstruction, but yeah, I'm working my way
What's the
back
time
through
frame on
that.
that
So
ACL reconstruction? Is it like 6 months, a little
I was
more?
out about a year from it because
Okay.
they put a cadaver tendon in me because I didn't have an ACL at the time. I had heard it 3 years prior and never realized I had ruptured my ACL. And I went to get it checked out, and they did
Oh,
an MRI, and they're like, "You don't have an ACL in your right leg." So
wow,
yeah,
wow. You didn't know it,
I
or was
know. I
this
just
another injury?
that was actually mountain bike.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
crazy stuff. But
Um, Tell me, wh- what why do you think people love it there at the academy? Why do they keep coming back to it? Is there a certain like aspect of it that you think they really enjoy?
I've done a lot of research, listened to a lot of Robert Drysdale and the way he talked about jiu-jitsu in Brazil back when it started, how it was really just kind of relaxed environment, nothing too structural, but hard training. And that's pretty much what we have. We're not like the traditional martial art gym, super formal or anything. We have people who work and come in late. And my theory is I don't care, just
Mm.
show up. So we're really, like I said, we lay back, but we train hard and kind of like a little family. We're a small town. It's probably about 12,000 people here. And on a good night, we could have 15 people in adults class. Um, During the summer, we've had like 6 people in adults class. So everybody who's
Got it.
there is there intentionally, and everybody's there to help everybody. And I just think it's a really cool environment that people enjoy to keep
Yeah,
coming back to.
I love it when I mean personally, I love it when I hear someone say that people can show up late and it's all good, and I love that.
Yeah,
Um, Tell us like you know is there one thing that you would really thank jujitsu for as far as like what it's added to your life?
it's really given me an avenue for like mental freedom and peace. I can show up to class, and it doesn't matter what else has happened that day. You get to rolling with somebody, and you're either in the moment or you're getting tapped out. So it just the way
Mhm.
it quiets all the noise in my head. Um, it's just like every class is like a little mini escape, just because you can't think of anything else. And especially teaching. So I teach kids and adults class every night that we have class. So just being prepared for that, you have to be in the moment while you're teaching. And then when you get to roll, also you have to be in the moment, because you got somebody else trying to choke you out, manipulate your limbs in ways that you don't want them manipulated. So, you lose focus, you get caught in stuff. So yeah, it's just a really an avenue for peace for me, and just to get in the moment and get out of my head on everything else that might be going on.
That really makes sense to me now. I mean, it just really kind of dawned on me even more, I guess. But the blocking everything else out because I thought, as an adult, whenever you have like free time, you're almost always trying to work out your problems in your head when you have free
Yeah.
time. like at home or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Even when you have
definitely.
free time, you're not really able to block things out like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Um, if if somebody comes to you now and just kind of asks like, what can jujitsu do for me? What can it do for my kid? What would you usually tell them?
That's one of especially adults. That's one of the big things that I'll tell them. It's like it's a way to get away. For kids though, I've seen um, it's just a way to help them focus. Excuse me. I have a couple kids that are one of them's ADHD. Actually, a couple of them are, and it's really it's neat to see because we'll be doing stuff and they'll be like, I can't do it. I have ADHD. I can't focus. And I'm like, well, you've just done it for the last 5 minutes. And then it kind of resets in their brains like, oh, yeah, I did just focus on that. So, um,
Mhm.
kids, I think it really helps with focus. And again, just an outlet for them as well to, just be with other people. It's obviously a very physical art. So yeah, I think it's just a great focus, a great way for them to get connected to other people that you might not otherwise have, because, you can go through your whole day and not physically touch people or, you can avoid
Yes.
people. There's no avoiding people in jujitsu. I think it's a way of just making them deal also with real time problems. They get to see
Yeah.
in real time the efforts of the work they're putting in. So I think that's some of the
Yeah.
biggest things I've seen with our kids, how it helps them.
And it's definitely like a social sport as well, right? There's a social
Absolutely.
part of it, more so than a lot of other sports could be. Um,
Yeah.
so, if parents are trying to have that part of it, as well, in a sport, and it definitely has that. It usually creates a community in itself, right? And it's year long.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, they have permanent friends outside of school, not
Yeah.
just seasonal with,
Exactly.
the different sports teams, that kind of thing.
Right. And then when you throw in the
Um,
competition element as well, I have a couple kids getting ready to compete for their first time. And that's something else I tell the parents. It seems like I've been around wrestling and other sports like that. And there's just something different about the jujitsu community, even at competitions. Some of the friends I have are people that I just had knockdown, drag out competitions with. And then we're still in touch 10 years later. It's just, I don't know. It's a really cool
yeah.
community in that aspect too. So,
Um, to end on this, is there anything you would like to say to the people who go there to the academy?
yeah, I would definitely just like to shout out. So we got, like I said, I'm a brown belt. I got a couple purple belts. Um, Owen, Brandon, and Quinn, they help a lot if I'm away on work or anything like that. They've always been there to kind of step up and help out with classes. And then Katie's been there to help out with our kids class quite a bit. Same thing. If I'm ever out of town, she'll jump right in and take it. So I just want to shout out to those guys for how much they do, and just let everybody else know how much I truly appreciate them. I feel like with ours being a smaller academy, it's never been. I don't feel like people think they're a number. Like each person that comes in there has a place. So I
Mhm.
just want to thank everybody who's been there, who's still coming there, and just something to people who are thinking about coming. Um, it's just a place you don't have to be or have anything else in common with these people. It's just something about jujitsu that commonality creates relationships. So yeah, I just want to shout out to everybody that's been coming, that's trusted me. Like the three purple belts I've had, they've been with me since I was a white belt. So, they've seen me
Oh, wow.
just absolutely know nothing about coaching. And like they've grown with
Yeah,
me, they've helped me grow.
that's cool.
and to what we are. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody who's stuck with me and chose to train with us.
Well, thank you so much for your story, man. I really appreciate your time and everything. You guys are on Facebook, of course. I know. Are you guys on Instagram too, or?
Yep, Facebook and Instagram. November Tango BJJ. You can find us on there, and
Got it.
yeah, and we have
Just
a website,
remember his initials, and you can
NovemberTangoBJJ.com.
remember the name.
For sure. Yep.
Got it, man. Hey, you take care, man. I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much. I enjoyed
You
talking
do
to
the
you.
same. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
having me on and giving me this opportunity.
100%. Thank you so much. All right.